bumps. The Finance Commission's roadmap is critical amid a standoff between the state between the center and the states. So the Finance Commission's roadmap means the plan which the Finance Committee has, or any other thing like that. To implement it, it will be very hard during the situation because of the standoff, which is happening between the center and the state. On Monday, the 15th Finance Commission submitted its report with recommendations on the formula for sharing the divisible pool of tax revenues between the center and states for the next 5 years to the President. So the Finance Commission it submitted a report to the center saying that the divisible pool of tax revenues between the center and the state will be shared until the next 5 years, and until the next 5 years of the president of the president elections. So until next 5 years, where the president will be shifted, the center and the states should share the divisible pool of taxes. The panel's proposed fiscal roadmap up to 2025 to 2026 will only come into public domain once it is tabled in the parliament. So obviously this plan will only come to it will only come to act only if the parliament agrees it. If not, in the winter session, at least before the union budget for 2021 to 2020 is presented. So if the season doesn't last for 26, it will at least last for it will at least begin from the this year, from the ending of this year, in the winter season, like December. An action taken report would reveal the government's acceptance or rejection of the panel's prescriptions. An action taken report would reveal. So the Finance Commission, it should not be afraid, and it should come front, and it should propose its plan. So only then the government can either reject it or even accept it. When the 14th Finance Commission recommended a sharp increase in their take-home cut from 32% to 42% of the divisible pool, the revenues and the center accepted it. States had obvious cause to upbeat. So this is the 15th Finance Commission implementation which they are making. When the 14th one was making, which was actually I think it is a reduction from the GST, which is from 40 to from 32. It is not a reduction. It is an increase in the GST from 32% to 42%, and the center obviously accepted it, including the states. However, their actual shares of total taxes mopped up have turned out to be far lower, as the center deployed more cesses and surcharges to garner additional revenues in recent years. So that 10% increase is a pretty big increase, and not only that, in that year the GST has increased even more, because the center has took higher cesses or taxes, and it also charged higher surcharges to garner additional revenues in recent years. So in recent years, it was in need of more money. So it has taken more revenues. There are fresh reasons for the states to be anxious about the Commission's revenue sharing recommendations, not in the least because of their recent standoff with the center on how their GST compensation dues will be paid this year. So the center promised the states that this year it will pay its share of the GST or the indirect tax. Now, not only that, there are now new reasons for the states to be so curious about the implementation which the Finance Commission is going to take. While 22 states have now come on board with a solution conjured up by the center, where there are still loose ends as more dues pile up over the next 2 years. So in India, we have 29 states, and 22 of them they have some plans, and they are ready to propose it to the state. Even though this all happens, it's all nice and good, but we still have some problems to fix. Second, The center had tasked the commission with assessing a few unusual ideas, including the creation of non-lapsable fund for the defense and security spending, and, and incentivizing states for performance and reforms considered desirable by the state, such as adoption of direct benefit transfer. So the center has given a task to the finance commission. It's a very hard task really, because its task is that the task which the center has given to the states is that, or the finance commission is that, it has said to make such a plan, in which the center could have extra money to pay the states who have acted on some reforms. For example, if they have performed Swachh Bharat very nicely, then they will be incentivized and they will be given some extra amount. So like this, it ought to prepare a plan for the finance commission. Southern states are worried that the use of 2011 population data instead of 1971 will penalize them for managing population growth better. All these have potential to impact. The population data in 1971 um, is uh, is obviously different from the population of 2011, because obviously the population will increase. So the finance commission is using the population data of 1971, which is really a problem, and states are worried about, if you consider that problem, then we'll have if you consider that year or that population, we will really have some problems. All these have the potential to impact states' actual share. So any of these, the plans which are prepared by the finance commission, or the decisions which are taken by the state, many of these have the capacity to change the fate of the states. The RBI's assessment of state finances reveals that they were already hurting from the slowing economy. The pandemic and the lockdowns have made things worse. Last year, this finance panel had tabled an interim report for 2020 to 2021 by saying a 5-year forecast is tough when the economy is slowing down due to effects of reforms like demonetization and GST. So there are two main problems going on now. The first problem is obviously the problem of pandemic, and the second problem is the financial problem which is caused by that pandemic. Now, when the GST was introduced, as all the tax directly goes to the center promised that until 5 years we'll be giving states some amount. But the problem now is that due to this pandemic, our economy has been highly hit. Now, the states, even before the pandemic, they didn't have the money to compensate states to give up their promise. And when the lockdown or the pandemic started, the things got even aggravated, and the center is saying that we don't have enough money to give you because the things have gotten very worse than we imagined, and we have only a less amount to give you. The pandemic and the lockdowns have made things worse. Last year, financial panel had tabled an interim report for 2000 by saying a 5-year forecast is tough when the economy is slowing down due to effects of reforms like demonetization and GST. And also, not only those both, the demonetization act, which was done by Narendra Modi, also has a huge impact on this economy, because all the old money was gone, which may be more than the new money. And as the new money came in, the center had a shortfall. Its final report comes at even more uncertain time, with the pandemic throwing the global economy into a tailspin. Now, the final thing which happened is that not only every country, not only one country or like India, or two, three, or some amount of countries, but all the countries in the planet Earth are they're having a very severe economy problem right now. That the panel has dedicated a volume entirely to states analyzing the development needs of each is hardening. The center has an the center can allay states' fears further by tabling the report soon, so that anxieties can be debated and laid to rest. And states can also explain upcoming budgets with less uncertainty. So center is actually caring for the states, and it is very awesome that it is doing so. And even the states, they are not just entirely depending upon center's money, or which is actually their money, but states are also focusing on creating own plans by themselves to protect to protect themselves from the dangers of the upcoming economy. So by doing this from now, we have very little uncertainty, which means that we'll be somewhat sure of what's going to happen in our economy. Being receptive to states' concerns and can help forge a fresh, cohesive federal compact for the coming years, a double engine that can hash the India's return to high growth. So now the author is basically saying that in this situation, both the states and the center and the finance commission should work together, and they should run as a double engine program, which means they should be progress in two ways. One is the progress in giving the GST share to the state. Another one is reviving the state of our economy. Thank you.